I think the story was printed. There was a tunnel going from Jack's house, which is near my house, all the way over to Hefner's house. Warren Beatty's legendary career captivated millions, but now a heartbreaking chapter is unfolding in his life. The beloved Hollywood icon known for his charm and genius is facing a devastating diagnosis that's changing everything as he battles a relentless illness. His wife, Annette, is in fact getting ready to say her goodbyes, and you don't want to miss that today we'll delve into the personal struggles behind the silver screen, revealing the health crisis that's shaken Warren's family to its core and left fans in disbelief. Warren Beatty, a Hollywood icon. Warren Beatty is that towering figure in Hollywood who has left an indelible mark on the world of cinema with brilliance in both acting and directing for over 6 decades. As a matter of fact, the work of Beatty epitomizes the very genres that a director will produce in inherently captivating films to audiences with a lot of charisma and depth. From the romantic charm of Splendor in the Grass to the gritty, explosive drama of Bonnie and Clyde, Beatty's range made him a household name, defining an era of anti-heroes. His portrayal of Clyde Barrow revolutionized modern filmmaking. Much later, Reds, which he helmed in Topple Line, proved that he was as cerebral and as capable as storyteller as any critic or award ceremony would claim, and brought home many an Academy Award in the process. Behind all the glitz and glamour of Hollywood's bright lights, Beatty was a star, quick-witted, intelligent, commanding the mainstays of an extraordinary personality, whether at an award show or in a private gathering of friends. Warren's presence was electric, yet few knew the challenges he would face sooner or later, challenges no amount of fame could prepare him for besides being an admired professional, the personal life of Beatty was quite striking, particularly his love with Annette. Hollywood knew him as a notorious bachelor, but all of that changed when Annette entered the picture. Strong was their connection, but little do most people realize what lies ahead in the strength they would have to face the unimaginable. How the romance began. Warren Beatty and Annette are one of the Hollywood relationships that remind one of old-time romances. It all started with Bugsy back in 1991, where the chemistry between them was palpable, but once the camera stopped rolling, romance continued to blossom, a whirlwind romance that later shocked Hollywood. As Warren had been considered for a long time as one of the most eligible bachelors in the industry, it seemed as though his status as a lady killer with a stream of celebrity girlfriends would last forever until Annette came along and changed everything. Their marriage in 1992 surprised the world as this was made known to the fans in the press. What followed thereafter was that rarest of things in Tinseltown, a marriage founded on mutual respect, love, and deep understanding. Unlike most Hollywood romances, it wasn't littered with scandal or tabloid headlines. This was a quiet, solid partnership in comparison, born into it, or specifically born into the family that balanced the demands of stardom with the grounding force of love. Were the 4 children, Stephen, Benjamin, Isabel, and Ella Warren and Annette, beat the odds together for a town to which relationships were often transient. They became role models in commitment and dedication. The world marveled at how this once unreachable heartthrob had settled down with Annette, built a family, and constructed a life that was conspicuous private for 2 public personas. But even such a strong love story has its test in something far more challenging than any Hollywood plotline: the tragic diagnosis. Warren Beatty was at one time at the pinnacle of Hollywood. Today, he has battled a foe he never expected, to the Alzheimer's disease. This devastating diagnosis has sent shockwaves through his family, friends, and fans as they see a once brilliant mind responsible for legendary films such as Bonnie and Clyde and Reds slowly deteriorate. This cruel and less accommodating disease called Alzheimer's has taken away sharpness and charisma that defined him. It's more than memory loss. Alzheimer's is a progressive brain disorder that gradually destroys a person's ability to think, remember, and function. It slowly erodes cognitive abilities, turning even the most independent individuals into those needing constant care. Warren was a man who indeed fed off intellect and wit. This diagnosis was especially hard to swallow. It's quite hard to imagine the charismatic star who once confronted complex film scripts and charmed an audience amidst confusion and memory loss. Close friends who have given insight into his condition have shown how the disease has already taken its toll on him. A wit that was once quick doesn't bite anymore, and conversations flow with staccato pauses, forgotten thoughts, and at times even disorientation. Colleagues who worked with him in his glittering career spoke about his forgetfulness on set during his last projects. Far from the man they had known, detail conscious and driven, his family has watched him forget names, faces, and even favorite memories. Whereas it is sad to anyone to have Alzheimer's, the thought of such a brilliant mind falling victim to the relentless grasp is Gut-wrenching to Warren be a man who commanded the camera and the room. The biggest tragedy of all would be the control he is losing over his mind, each moment forgotten, each minute getting confused, gnaws at the very man he used to be as Beatty's. Health started to decline. Poor Annette Bening had to go through unimaginable struggles of holding on to the man she loves, but preparing herself for the inevitable. The diagnosis reshapes their lives, meaning their roles would shift in ways neither could have imagined. Hardest of all to see Warren Beatty, once a titan of Hollywood, gradually begin to disappear into someone he no longer knows. The journey is far from over. With undeniably heartbreaking struggles, Annette Bening's emotional role as caregiver and now Warren's wife of more than 3 decades, Annette Bening launches into another new and emotionally burdensome role, that of a caregiver. It is not the one with Alzheimer's who suffers, but also everybody around him, particularly those closest to him. For Annette, balancing her flourishing acting career with the care of Warren has been nothing short of a Herculean task. Ex-premiere packed script-filled life with spotlights now contends with the daily fight that her husband is facing in his deteriorating condition. It's just so emotionally draining, a constant heartache, a constant cognitive dissonance of watching the love of your life slipping away day in and day out. Annette has spoken publicly briefly about the heartbreak there is in cognitively losing Warren. The man who once dazzled her with his intelligence and humor now sometimes forgets their shared memories. More painful still is the realization it is one-way traffic. There is no return from Alzheimer's. Still, some of that telling resilience that is Annette shines through. She has handled this gut-wrenching situation with the same dignity and grace that have typified her career. Though she has had to harbor an emotional storm, she has stood strong, writing. The balance between caregiving and professional living. Friends and colleagues alike have been awed by her strength, observing how she has borne this weighty burden without buckling. Through recent interviews, Annette has spoken out for Alzheimer's awareness in an attempt to get the public to understand the emotional and physical toll the disease takes on the families. She now speaks so deeply, not from just an observing stance, but from the rawness of a personal experience living with someone through such a battle. Her strength and hope rise tall and shed light on the difficulties of caregiving while her own silent heartbreak is faced. But even with her extraordinary commitment, Annette well realizes that the worst is yet to come. Day after day, she's slowly losing the man she once knew. A piece of him fades as the disease progresses. The more she hangs onto their shared moments and the life they built together, the larger the shadow of Alzheimer's hovers. As much as she tries to hold on to their shared moments and life built together, the shadow of Alzheimer's looms large. In spite of such unwavering dedication, Annette well realizes that she is gradually losing the man she loves, emotionally and physically tiring. Though it's a battle she certainly wouldn't give up until the very end. The family's response and support. It is not only Warren Beatty and Annette Bening who carry the burden of Alzheimer's, but also their whole family. They have 4 children, Stephen, Benjamin, Isabel, and Ella, who have taken the responsibility to support their father and mother during this difficult time. Of course, all of them were close to one another, but after this diagnosis, they got closer because as they rallied around their parents with unwavering love and support through the trials of caregiving, Annette has relied on Warren Beatty and herself, their children, through it all. From day-to-day care with Warren to emotional support for their mother, each child has taken on different roles. Indeed, such efforts are a reflection of the good family foundation that Warren and Annette built, a family that, despite the glamour of Hollywood, has always put love and being together first. Indeed, it has not been easy for them, seeing their father once at a moment in their lives deemed invincible struggle through the debilitating effects of Alzheimer's. No amount of preparation can rid any family for the emotional pain of watching someone they love slip away. At the same time, they have decided to face this challenge with courage. They do everything that can be done to make sure the semblance of normally remains amidst the chaos, whether that is spending quiet times